How are you again today? I trust that everything in your life is moving according to plan. Maybe not the plan that you ever imagined, but nevertheless, it's a plan anyway. And if you keep moving forward and do not look back, I assure you that you will find the wisdom of the matter. My name is Marcus Soletta. Surely I have my issues, make no mistake about that, but I bring to the table the wisdom, the wounds, the scars, if you will, of my past, of which I have and still learn many life lessons that I want to share with you. Today we want to talk about, on the Coach's Corner, oh my God, the things that they will not tell you in church. Did you know that you cannot escape reality? You cannot escape reality. Spirituality does not give you or authorize you an escape from reality. All the stories in the Bible point to process. The process for success. And no matter how much success you have, you cannot ignore the process. This is the Coach's Corner. Stand by. Well, welcome aboard. Thank you so much again. OMG, what they don't tell you in church. And I just wanted to really, get you all really all oiled up with a little bit of jazz background, change it up a little bit on the Coach's Corner. You know what I mean? Let me give you a little bit of church music. You like that right there? We're just having some fun, right? I just love them horns. So we're gonna let that marinate, in the background. OMG, man, the things that they don't tell you in church, man. Let me tell you something, man. There is a life out here that you cannot imagine. There's a life out here that you can't imagine. Yeah, man. For real. A lot of times we're too trusting sometimes. Too trusting. You ever thought to yourself, man, there's something missing to this picture? And for those who are not regularly in church, they ask themselves the same question. They feel bad that they don't go to church. But one of the things that they don't tell you in church is that no matter how much success you desire or aspire to, you cannot escape the process. Yes, sir. Let that horn marinate you. Another thing they don't tell you in church is that you cannot, spirituality does not give you a license to escape reality. Need some help right there, like that. You see what I mean? It's just something about folks who are exposed to spiritual environments where they tend to think that, well, I'm exempt from reality. I'm exempt from reality. You know what I'm saying? But you're not exempt. And this is the disappointing factor that I find in life. We're taught that we are so special. We are. But the story of Job points to the fact that you're special to go through hell and high water. They don't teach us that way. You're highly favored to be ignored. I need some help right there. You're highly loved and unconditionally loved to be hated. You're granted promises because most people will pay what they cannot afford and eventually not pay regarding you. What is this thing? What is this westernized message that we have twisted to get everybody to accept and believe something that is not real? He who suffers, he who wants to live for God, must suffer godly persecution. You don't hear that. What is persecution? To be talked about, to be scorned, to be laughed at, to be the subject of every situation. Let's get back to that jazz. Yes, sir. Kurt Whalum, you know who it is. Yes, man. And so, we cannot escape reality. We cannot escape reality. Spirituality is not a cover from reality. In fact, spirituality qualifies you for the real in reality. I guess Job could be trusted with reality. Is why he went through what he went through. Some theologians say, well, he feared these things in his heart. So these are the things that were brought upon his life because he feared them secretly. Okay. That positioning would work if you didn't have a plethora of other stories where men and women of God and suspected men and women of God and other men that were not necessarily of the cloth went through processes that were gruesome, full of suffering, full of agony, destitution, deficiency, and on and on. That argument about Job having pre-feared these things, if you will. But what they don't tell you in church, you can't escape this life. You don't get a pass from this life. You don't get a pass from it. We only incorporate Christ. We only incorporate theology to help us in the day-to-day dealings of this life. Jesus is one of the most misunderstood persons of all time, I think. That's my own personal opinion. And what they don't tell you about Jesus is that he is a psychologist. He says in one instance, if you look upon a woman to lust, it is as if you have committed. One brother said to me, so I must well go ahead on and commit the act. Well, that brings on a plethora of other problems. That's tier one of the transgressional violations. You know what I mean? You don't have to go on to tier two. Jesus knew how the brain works. Even in Romans, he says, if you shall confess with your mouth and believe in your heart. Now, some people have made a whole theology out of that, about confession. But what they have left out are other parts of the Christian life or the life in general that have very little to do with confessions. I mean, that's part of it, but they've made it like that's the whole pie. What they don't tell you in church is balance. the modified way forward. You have to get that from a personal relationship, your own self with the Lord. If you're not a Christian, you have to have a personal relationship with the Lord. Because they're not going to tell you that in church. Overall, they're not going to tell you that you're going to encounter more suffering in this reality. Why? Why are you going to incur? Well, this is what some theologians say. Well, it's God's will. No, it's part of life. That's what they should have told us in Sunday school 40 years ago. It's part of life. And if you're going to live a godly life, you're going to have even more hell to go through. The suffering way really is the way of wisdom, because wisdom comes by sorrow. Sorrow, S-O-R-R-O-W, sorrow. Wisdom comes by sorrow. If you want to know anything about the how of something, then you talk to someone who has stories of regrets or sorrows. They have sorrows in their bowels of verbal stories. Wisdom comes by sorrow. I could tell you about my sad days and glean wisdom from those days. What they don't tell you in church is that wisdom comes from sorrow. Oh, of course, James, the apostle says, if any man lack wisdom, ask of God, of course, who will withhold it not, but give it to all men liberally. Of course he will. But when you can be rest assured that when you're given that wisdom, it doesn't say how it's going to come. Well, that's what they don't tell you in church. They don't tell you that wisdom comes by way of sorrow. Solomon says, wisdom comes by way of sorrow. Let's get back to a little bit of that jazz. This knack to create an environment for ourselves, an environment that supports what we believe, but oftentimes we never check what we believe against the results in our lives, and thereby upgrade our belief system so that we are now creating better environments that support new aspects of our belief system. So we go on with the same belief systems, with the same environment, and then we wonder, well, what the church doesn't tell you is that there are people in the Bible, respectively so, that upgraded. Thief on the cross upgraded. Judas couldn't upgrade because it was too late. Kind of leads me to believe that the forbidden sin is betrayal. I'm just saying. What the church don't tell you. You see, you're so blindly going forward to get the word and to hear your favorite man or woman of God, that has become for many of you an idol. to the degree that you yourself do not have a relationship with God and God alone. And you dare to do anything outside the acceptance of the man and woman of God. And I think maybe perhaps that's why, hence in the Western culture at least, that, you know, so many scandals has occurred to bring us back to the perspective that we're all human. Yes, leaders should be leaders. Yes, church should be a place for the brokenhearted to be healed. Yes, but at the same time, we are all individually responsible for our own spirituality as we leave church, the four walls therein, with the Bible, the Holy Ghost, and the pulpit, and the one that stands in or shouts from that place, and we leave that ground, sacred though we may think it may be, we leave that ground to go into a hostile day-to-day environment that, aside from the promises, aside from the favor, aside from all the good things that we are promised, we in and of ourselves are still intertwined in an environment of hostility and harsh reality. Joseph is caught in the thicket of the potential and the destiny of who he is to be. And he is thrown into the den of reality. And he succumbs to the mailman method of disseminating the message by way of social networking, telling 2 or 3 to remember me. But all the networking in the world will not change the reality or the marker in the process that you must fulfill, that I must fulfill. That's what they don't tell us in church. They don't tell us in church that you can network all you want to, but if it is a marker of process that you are to complete, networking will not help you at that moment when you must fulfill all those spiritual principles in the hostility of reality. What they don't tell you in church. Get back to that jazz, if you will, sir. What they don't tell you in church is that even though you fall in love with someone, relating requires skill. Relating requires skill. Relating requires skill. That's what they don't tell you in church. Bring it back on up.
Incredible recording artist. Please welcome Doc Powell.
figured you would like this right here. Set your day right. As you face a hostile, assuredly reality. As you intertwine all that you believe, faith, joy, peace, as you stand on, quote unquote, the word, as you, hopefully in a greater sense, become a lively stone, I want you to know that in God's eyes, the reason why I'm on the microphone is because you are His everything. What they don't tell you in church is that suffering is a way also of wisdom. The Bible says Jesus learned by the way and by the things He suffered. We don't like to hear that word. We don't like to hear that word. But the things that we don't like to hear don't just automatically go away. They are still evident in life. And by me being happy and exuberant about the good things of the kingdom does not exempt me from the bad things of life. The only difference is that all things work together for the good, for them that are the called according to the purpose. Are you called according to the purpose? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I say when it's real good to me right there. One thing about church that they don't tell you is that when you're in a feel-good place, it releases chemicals, dopamine and other chemicals in your brain that enjoy good moments, good company, or at least what seems to be a good environment. And from that, we walk away with seemingly enough energy to start the week, only to find out that you can't survive life on good moments, that you must also learn how to create good moments for yourself. That's why, hence, you hear the phrase, I had to praise God all by myself. You see what I'm saying? But as we close, this is like a little special something. I just wanted to let you know, man, there's a lot of things, man, that you're not going to learn in church. Not the four walls, anyway. The church has a level of pretentiousness like every other entity, because it's filled with the same common denominator of every other organization or every other entity or organism is filled with, and that's humans. Wherever there's a human heart, there's bound to be human error. Wherever there's human error, there's bound to be a God of truth. Wherever there's God of truth, there's bound to be opposition to the truth and reluctance to accept the truth. But wherever the truth is, there's enough unconditional love to keep you in check, and there's enough favor to keep you in line, and there's enough mercy to keep you above water.
Smiled on me. God has smiled. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He has smiled on me. He's been good. Has been so good to me. Sing it, sing it, sing it. God has been so good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I trust that you're telling others about the Coach's Corner. Don't forget, now we have a radio station, new website for the radio station, www.sibnradio-by Select USA TV. We have international, national, and local digital programming for your improvement and your empowerment. Whatever you do, you have to stop by there. And also, you can also have that on your iPhone. I had a dream that I was in my car. It was a relatively new kind of car or something, and I was able to get my radio station in the car. That is coming, if you don't know. But listen, let's go to a little cut right here as we close out OMG, things they don't tell you at church.
Don't ask me why, don't wonder how, don't bother asking how it's possible to love someone like you. It's 'cause you're mine, it's 'cause you're you, it's 'cause I'm loved. It's what I do. Nothing you do, nothing you say, nothing could change the love that I promised you when I promised you I'd stay. It's 'cause you.
One thing is true. The things that you see as right today will be wrong tomorrow in some cases. Things you see as wrong today will be right tomorrow, because the perception increases, the growth, the maturity level of your application of knowledge makes a difference 5, 7, 10, 14 years later. What begins to matter when you're young matters not at all when you're older. Or what matters in knowledge doesn't matter in wisdom. Understanding ends up being better. That's my time, man. I just wanted to give y'all a little taste. What they don't tell you in church. Wisdom comes by sorrow. You always have been the apple of God's eye, but right now the church has on glasses that has not been updated in a while. Till next time, take care of yourself. It's Coach.
It's 'cause you're you. It's 'cause I'm loved. It's what I do.
Who's coaching you? Who's asking you the tough questions? Who's telling you, man, you're the common denominator to all of your issues and challenges? Who's telling you, man, all day long you become the magnetic pulse that attracts to you both good and bad? I want to be your life coach. I want to be the one that cheers you on to the finish line. I want to be the one that you ask the tough questions. And it doesn't mean that I have all the answers, but that means that you have a partner, someone who believes in you, not the you see right now, but the you can't imagine, the you that you are to become, the you are destined to be. I always say we both need the
positive and the negative. It's not enough to have the knowledge of the matter, but we must have the wisdom as well. For wisdom settles it. And that's what I want to offer you as you join me on the Coach's Corner. I want to offer you the wisdom of the matter. Maybe it might be relationships, talking about our campaigns for more, for life, the dark room for our subconscious, our spiritual journey, whatever it is. I want to be there to encourage you, to build you, to challenge you, to cheer you on to the finish line. I'm qualified to do this. Why? Because I'm you.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station.
Hi, Jamaica Chapel, College Park, Georgia, in the house. You're listening to SIBN Radio.
Hi, this is Ted Boss calling from Richmond, Virginia, and you're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Y'all turn it up now.
Hi, this is VJ Washington calling from Atlanta, Georgia. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. So turn it up.
Hi, my name is Sonia Claiborne from East St. Louis, Illinois, by way of Columbusville, Missouri. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Turn it up.
What's good? It's your boy Joe coming from Snellville, Georgia. You're listening to the Lifestyle Improvement Station, SIBN Radio. Y'all turn it up.
You're listening to the sounds of your lifestyle improvement station, changing the way we live. SIBN FM, powered by Summit USA TV.